Hey, am I on? I'm on. I'm not too swishy today. Hey, everybody. How you doing? It's me, Leslie Bilodeau Plazic, Zazoo Plazz. Ah! Oh, man. Hey, my hair looks pretty good today. How you doing? So, let's see. I'm going to have to probably make this quick. So, and I'm good in these situations. Oh, Leslie Bilodeau Plazic, Zazoo Plazz report, September 24th, 2023. I made it. I made it out here. Of course, it's raining again. It's raining. No problem. It's me, Mary Poppins, coming down to give you a spoonful of sugar for your week. I've got a little, okay, so update. I'm grounding here. This is my grounded update. I'm getting over a little cold, so if I'm a little hoarse, bear with me. I made a big pot of chicken soup for myself last night. I've been getting extra rest and liquids. Okay, Mom? Rest easy, Mom. I'm taking care of myself. Had some cough drops. And, and see, I got to go back to getting my grocery order on a different day because it's ridiculous. It's not even Mercury retrograde. I had it coming for 10 to 12 a.m. I figured that should be fine. Get my groceries and come out here and do the Zazoo report. So my husband took off. My oldest son was home. He's, I don't know, nursing a foot thing, and so he came home to see his doctor, and then he went back, and he's, health. He's managing his health. He's fine. He's Virgo. He's a Virgo. I'm a mom of a Virgo and an Aries who comes and goes like a bolt of lightning, and then starts fires and doesn't put them out. And never mind. So, comedy, folks. Anyway, but not really. So this is my life. This is reality. So I'm waiting. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So, due to high volume, your order will be delayed up to an hour and a half. No. No. So I said, you know what? So I left they took all the keys. They took all the cars. I have no car. So I left the garage door open. It's right over there. I can see my house. So I figured, maybe they can just leave the dang groceries there, and I'll be back in 10 minutes. It won't take that long. So, sometimes you got to make these executive decisions. So that's the kind of mood I'm in today. The sun is hitting my rising point in my chart. Your rising, your ascendant, which is like, I guess, where the sun, was on the horizon when you were born. It wasn't quite up yet. For me, it's Libra, 3 degrees, 1 to 3 degrees, and it's like 3 degrees of Libra. So this is like my second birthday, other than my half birthday. This is like your birthday, your ascendant. Find out, it's easy to find out. Just go to any of the astrology, calculators online, astro.com, astrodienst, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of them. Just Google, find my ascendant. And look into it, because it's kind of like, well, here's my order. Oh man, I'm probably going to get a message now. You know what? I don't care. Let the stuff just sit there. I don't care. Beeping. No, I'm not going home. I'm just going to leave it there, and I'm just going to finish doing my report. It's going to keep beeping, isn't it? Yes, it is. See, this is how we learn. We make mistakes, we learn, and then we, move on. So I'm just going to make it short. Okay, so what I wanted to say, ascendant. Your ascendant is kind of like, when you walk into a party with a bunch of people that you kind of know, but not really, you've been invited somewhere, and there's a bunch of people you don't know. You walk into a room, they don't know you from a hole in the wall, really. And it's what they see, right? Say, oh, she's this, right? And don't we make those judgments about people? With me, I'm usually right. right? I see someone, I read their aura, I see how they vibrate. How do they look me in the eye? You know, are they dressed and looking around the room like all they want is to be seen instead of to see and meet people? Are they givers or takers? You can tell within a couple of seconds of watching somebody. You know, you meet enough people, you've been here enough times, you know, right? And usually I'm right. Very rarely am I wrong about people. I can just, all right, so just put it out there. You know, and I'm the kind of person who'd rather go do the Zazoo report in the rain than sit home and oh, yeah, it's here, and wait for my groceries. If they have to sit there, they sit there. They'll be fine. So, you know, I don't think I ordered anything frozen. It can wait 10 minutes. Anyway, so, you know, that's your rising. So I just wanted to talk about that. And this week, it's a lot going down. So our little doggie, you know, Dee Dee, the Divine Diva dog, who I feature in my book, she's a lab mix. So she's got this thing called laryngeal paralysis. Laryngeal, something like that. So we have to take her, we had our tests taken. My husband's going to take her. What they do is they make an incision to open up, I guess, in the larynx, or they make a hole so that she can breathe better. Because right now the muscles are kind of closed there, and she's going, you know, she's kind of like, she tries to, you know, go for her walk, and she's got plenty of energy, but you know, she can't breathe. So one of the risks, though, is if she's trying to eat, you know, sometimes food can go in there. And what I want to say is my husband and I marvel at the fact that it's the exact, almost, well, my mother wasn't a dog, but that's the kind of thing that happened to her before she died. She got this thing where the food was going down her air pipe. You know, the muscles weren't closing in her throat as they should, so that the, you know, food and vitamins were going down there, and she had to get a tube in her stomach. So I'm marveling at the fact, it didn't escape me, that my dog has the same issue that my mom had, which is the same issue that my grandmother had. Well, she had myasthenia gravis, but that was a weakening in the throat. So I'm starting to think, okay, you know, all these women in my family, right? Were they ever able to speak their truth? It's throat chakra, right? We're having a time now. So this all fits together perfectly. What do you need to say, right? Let's see, as Isaiah, we're gonna make it quick today. We're going into the readings. Isaiah, seek the Lord. His ways are so far above ours, we can't fathom. But, you know, he's there when we need him, right, God? So, okay. Let me put the hood on. That's the thing. You know, in the old days, I don't know, you used to be able to call when we had the phone on the wall. I remember calling, you know, and you wouldn't get the same person, but you know, you could call and you get some lady, you know, saying information or whatever. When I was really little, I remember this, even when I was growing up. You'd call, you get a person. They'd say, you know, how may I help you, whatever. And it was, you know, a person, and you could say, you know, help me, I need to find this out, or what, you know, what time is it? And there was a person there that you could talk to. Not even, you know, at the phone company, just in general, in companies, you know. You had an issue, you could call, right? You could call somebody. And I think when we stopped doing that, we lost something important. Because, you know, and sometimes, you never know. If, you know, you're kind to someone who's giving you help on the phone, you never know. You might be the light in their life, in their day. You know, I worked at a company where there were people in customer service, and it was not a fun job, but they were good at it, you know? So it's kind of like, you just never know Years later, you might find out that somebody that you used to call and talk to on a regular basis, you were actually helping them and brightening their day, and you were thinking you were the one who was needing help. But no, you were the one helping somebody else, and you just didn't know. So if, you're the kind of person like me who kind of, I felt at times like I was, all alone in the world. And if I found a nice person to talk to, I'd talk to them. And then, come to find out later, they would say, oh, you brightened up my day or whatever, and I had no idea. I don't know. Anyway, just something I wanted to say. So yeah, you never know, right? Who's asking, who's giving help and who's receiving, giving and receiving. So that's kind of the issue. Matthew 20 today, the gospel reading, because that's how I roll. I always bounce off the, works every time. I think this is how we're meant to use the Bible. Anyway, 11:11 I said that. Isn't that interesting? All right, so you got this rich guy who owns a vineyard, right? Maybe he's, they make wine or something. And he's got those, people out working. It's probably men in those days, but these days it could be men and women. They're out there, right? You got the ones who come first. They come at 9 o'clock. And they work all day in the sun, and, they hardly get a break, and they're laboring and laboring, right? And they get their wage. And then you have these people who come in, 4 o'clock and work an hour, right? And you know what's going to happen. You can tell just reading the story. People are people. So, you got them, wow, if that happened today, you'd have all these people on social media going, just kind of like the boomers, right? We got here way before you, and we worked for years, and we didn't, and you come and you get this and that. We're the ones who did that first. Okay, anyway. And then we're sitting there, Gen X. And then the millennials are, they just go. And we're watching the tennis match go back and forth between the ones who have been there a while and the ones who just arrived, Gen Z, whatever. So anyway, there goes my food truck. My melting groceries. So anyway, so this is the time, right? If you look at it in a spiritual way, okay, there's some who, I'm not saying they're boomers. I'm saying this is the kingdom of God analogy, right? So it doesn't matter what your chronological age is. Some people are, woke up early. I'm saying woke in terms of some people on their spiritual path found their path, doesn't matter how old you are, found their path before some others. Maybe they had a good teacher. If you had a good teacher, then you're a little bit ahead. And then you got to help the ones who are just sort of getting it, just kind of realizing that something's going on. So the first shall be last and the last shall be first. In other words, just God doesn't keep time like we do, right? He has a plan. And he's saying, well, this person's being sent, and this person's going to go through all this crap to help guide the other ones. And, and guiding could be, a musician, somebody like Dolly Parton, whose music, you listen to and you get certain messages, or it could be an author, could be an actual, a spiritual teacher, could, whoever. In the East, they take it very seriously, that guru concept. In the West, we kind of don't. We're sort of more casual about things. We make fun of things, skeptical and scoffing. Anyway, so that's the way I see it spiritually. This is the vibe I'm getting. And don't complain, because and you never know. You could be one of the ones who you could have worked lifetimes in the field, right? And now, and this is not just one life. This is Could be 10,000 years you've been out there working, and sometimes I feel like that, right? And then some people are newer souls, right? They're clueless. They just got here and they don't know what's going on. But God's saying everybody's going to get paid the same. Now, wouldn't that cause a storm in the evening news? Right? We're going to pay everybody the same. No, but you get paid, what you agreed to, which is what our souls agreed to, right? So the guy's saying, you can't sue me because it's my money and you agreed to work, right? So this is kind of it. It's like, on some level, our souls signed up for this. Whatever you don't like, you can't complain to God about it because you agreed. You're here doing what you agreed to do. So anyway, all right, song of the week. It's getting pretty wet. Oh, maybe I'll get some comments today for a change. 9 to 5, because it actually mentions 5 p.m. in Matthew 20. It says 5 o'clock. So, Then there's Dolly Parton, 1980. Oh my God, I was 15. I was 15 in a day when this song came out. November 3rd, 1980. Boy, do I remember this song. It was on the Country Pop and Disco. It was a country pop disco song, which she made for the film 9 to 5, which came out also in 1980. So it was on the soundtrack for the movie and her album 9 to 5 and Odd Jobs. And so, yeah, we love Dolly. Dolly's awesome. I really related to this song at different times in my life in different ways, though, it was just a great song when I was a kid, and then when I started working, I can relate to the song because I was in office jobs a good part of my life till I finally said, I've had it, no more, and then I went back again, and then I said no more. 2017, I had it. That's it. Because it's crazy, all right? I feel like my whole life I was in these situations where people would just, use my good ideas and I'd never get credit. I'd be in, meetings and, other people would say, that's a great idea. Or they'd say, nah, that's not a great idea. And then they'd turn around and use my frickin' ideas and I wouldn't get credit. And then they would get credit for my ideas. Or I was too nice to stand up and say, you stole my idea, all right? And then, because probably at some level I didn't value myself and my own ideas, so I let people get away with it. And I'm saying, this is my theme song. And women, of course, at the time it was a big feminist thing, right? But now it's kind of across the board. But I never got paid what I deserved. I never got paid as much as the men who did the same work that I was doing. U.S. It was on the Billboard number 9 in 1980, number 1 for the week, and went triple platinum, over 3 million. Fun facts. Let's see. She was only the second woman to be on top of both the U.S. country and pop charts at the same time, I guess. And that typing sound? It wasn't a typewriter. That was her nails tapping against each other. I guess for the Super Bowl in 2021, she did a 5 to 9, parody of her own song. That was cool. She's awesome. Rolling Stone said it was her most transformative song, won 2 Grammys, and became an anthem for office workers, right? Oh my God, that dum 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 dum. That's that's you, me, going, on the treadmill, Monday morning, living for Friday, doing it all. Can you imagine? So all the things that were wrong with working life, all taken and no given, rich man's game. put money in his pocket. Isn't that the truth? And it's still happening. All right? So, yeah, I did a lot of that, you know? And I actually, thought that it was better if I was working in some capacity, where I thought I was making a difference. But I really wasn't. It was still an organization where my creative ideas were not able to be utilized and integrated, right? But I didn't know that at the time. I thought, oh, I'm helping this one or that one or the environment. Yeah, right. I didn't know at the time. I thought naively that I was going to get my college degree and my MBA and go out and make a difference in the world. But so what I came to was that, you know what? I was working I worked for stories. I worked for experience. Because now I have all these great stories from all those years that I put up with, crap. To make a living, to get by, but I learned, and maybe in some of those places, people were teaching me lessons that I needed for my spiritual growth. So now I've come to terms with it. All those years of wearing heels and nylons and double-breasted suits with old shoulder pads and the monotony, the environment's big old boys. I was in the finance industry. Okay? So anyway, I was in finance. Okay. I was in very male-dominated industries. I was in finance, computers, systems, investments. I had my own financial services sales business, for 3 years, almost 3 years. 3 years. A little more. I was in some very male-dominated, I was in software, marketing, state government. I was in environmental public affairs. Anyway, I could go on, and now I'm a writer. So now I'm calling the shots, and it's time for my ship to come in, and all of our ships, really. If you feel like that laborer that's been working 9 to 5 for a long time, and maybe finally your ship is coming in. And it's wet enough, so yeah, I had to say a few things, get them off my chest. Because, I could really go on a rant here, but I'm not going to. That wasn't a rant. That's not a rant. That was just talking. God. So cool. Anyway, so I hope that some of my sharing, it, rings a bell with you. That maybe it gives you some hope or some laughs. That I'm standing out here in the rain. I'm going to go have my chicken soup and put my melting groceries away. See, I had to come out here because the way I find that I operate is it's kind of like spoiling groceries. If I don't share what's on my mind right now, it kind of goes bad. It kind of I lose it. If I don't share it in that moment, I lose it. So I gotta go and it's like I gotta put the groceries in the fridge. I gotta put it out there, and then I can relax. Okay? That's the way I find that this works. So, yeah, go watch the video, Dolly Parton. Meditate on, think about it. Where in your life do you feel like both of them? The new person coming in, have you ever felt like that new person coming in where, you feel bad because some people, have been there, but you're kind of just arriving? I feel more like the first, I'm kind of in the middle, I have felt like, I felt both ways. Sometimes I've come into a work environment, and actually a lot of times this has happened, where I'm working for, my boss is always been, like a baby boomer, somebody older. It started turning around within the last 10 to 15 years. I ended up working for millennials, and that was a very different situation because I kind of felt like I should be their boss because they might have known things like technical things, but when it comes to life stuff, I kind of felt like I was sort of their teacher certain ways. Like, really? They were trying to tell me what to do and they didn't have management skills. They didn't know how to people, And then you get the older ones. I had this older guy coming in talking about the 60s and all that he would, met his wife backpacking through, Europe and Peru and all this. I'm like, really? Can we save that? I just, and he was, it wasn't a situation where, he would listen to anybody else. He knew what he knew, right? And I was his mentor. I was supposed to be teaching this guy how to do the job. And he wasn't listening. He wasn't having it. And I'm not entirely sure that he was, I was a team player, and I don't think he knew that concept. There were moments where I thought, is this guy, I can't be completely honest with him because he's going to run around, turn around, and go and, rat on me. So I can't tell this guy what's going on at home or, what's really, what I really think about things because he's going to go and rat on me. He's a little brown noser. Like I said, my instincts are usually right. I still don't know, but I'm convinced that that's probably the way I saw it. It was the way it was. But anyway, enough ranting for one day. I'm getting wet. Anyway, yeah, they might be old, but they saw all the good bands. Anyway, 9 to 5. That's all I'm going to say for today. I'm going to go put my groceries away. Until next week, stay dry and have fun. Don't work too hard, okay? Give yourself a break. Be for a little while. Just be. That's fine. It's enough. And I'll talk to you next week. Okay, bye-bye.